Maybe I'll get famous, the man who can't be fooled. Maybe you won't meet, just see me on the road. You'll come running to the corner, cause you know it's just for you. I'm the man who can't be fooled. You find your destiny. You come back to the place. Singing like you on the corner of the street. Come down,
Okay, I've got right about. Okay, is that working? Can you guys hear me through the speakers? Yes. Okay, that's good. All right, so I've got right about 11:45. We've got a bunch of stuff to get through. I've got lots of things to share with you and show you and have you participate in. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you're just getting here, or if you haven't seen the enormous screen in front of you, before you start, you want to go to ditchthattextbook.com/sharing. That's the resources page. I don't even have slides for this presentation. It's going to be so interactive, it's going to be kind of pointless for me to even go back and forth with slides. So we're just going to go right off of this. And so I do want to tell you that in both of the sessions I've done at ISTE this year, I've gotten to pull in other people on Google Hangouts on air. And so this computer right here, this Chromebook, is actually live broadcasting right now this session, and we had as many as about 40 people signed up to watch it. So in addition to all of you guys, when we do some collaborative stuff in Google here, you may have some people outside of the room who are working right alongside with you. So here, if you're at home, can everybody wave to the people at home? See, we love our not at ISTE people. There we go. How many of you were not at ISTE before you were at? How many followed the not at ISTE hashtag on Twitter? Did any of you do that? Okay, yeah, that was me for 2 years. I followed along and wished that I was here, and now this is actually my first year being here. So, okay, rearrange that a little bit. There we go. Okay, so today my goal is to give you lots of ideas, practical ideas that you can plug into your classes. If you're a teacher, if you're a tech coach, you can plug a lot of these into your sessions or take these back to your teachers or your administrator. I've actually tried to add some ideas of how these can translate over to the administrative role. How many of you are consider yourselves administrators? Okay, good. All right, so I've got some ideas in there of, as with me as a teacher, these are things that I would love for my administrators to do with this stuff. So just wanted to kind of give everybody something, hopefully. So so again, if you're not at ditchthattextbook.com/sharing, that's the place to be. If you're working on an iPad, then there's a form right here where you need to put your email address for your Google account. So actually, before we get started on our first one, holy cow, a whole bunch of them, that's good. I'm going to copy all of those over for just a second. Holy cow, there's a lot of them. I've got 48 of them on this list. So, and again, if you're not using an iPad, you don't have to put your email address in there. But I guess if you do, then you're going to have all of our documents all shared with you right there. So, okay, so I'm going to let these all send out real fast, and then we'll start with our first one. There. Okay. So again, if you're using an iPad and you haven't gotten, if you click on your shared with me area, I tried to share an entire folder with you. Sometimes it's kind of quirky. I mean, if you've worked with Google Apps and iPads, you know that sometimes there's some quirkiness. So hopefully it's going to come through with you for you, and we've also got some links up here. So okay, so real quick, who I am. My name is Matt Miller, and I am a high school Spanish teacher in West Central Indiana. I'm a Google certified teacher. I just recently wrote a book called Ditch That Textbook. And Google Apps allows me to ditch my textbooks very nicely. And actually, I'm going to be giving away, if you read through your stuff here at the beginning, I'm going to give away this copy of the book to somebody in here. If you sign up on the Google form, which is, I think, a little bit lower under the free stuff section, which is right under the About the Presenter. So if you haven't signed up for that, I'm going to pull a name right off of that at the end of the session and give it away. So anyway, that's me, and I've been using Google Apps for Education in my own classroom for 2 or 3 years or so since my school district adopted them. I use Google Classroom, I use Google Apps. I mean, pretty much every day my kids are doing different things, and I'm always excited about coming up with new and different ways, either from learning from others or just coming up with them on my own to try to incorporate them. So I've come up with, well, I didn't come up with all of these, but I've gathered together for you 8 of them that I want us to take a look at. And when you get done with all 8 of these, if that wasn't enough, I do another conference session that kind of the same idea, only these are like the 8 best. But this link right here is 50 collaborative Google Apps activities. It's kind of the same idea, only there are lots and lots more ideas. And so if you want to dig a little deeper, get some more ideas, you can always click through there. So I was just saying earlier, I like to do 3 hours worth of content on the website, but then I'll give you an hour's worth right here in yours. So, okay, enough of me talking. Let's talk about graphic organizers first. So I mean, you got graphic organizers like your fishbone diagrams and your KWLs and your Venn diagrams and all that stuff, which are great because they allow you and your students to gather your ideas together. And Google Drawings is great for this. How many of you know about Google Drawings? Just curious. Okay, more than half, that's great. Word is getting out. Because that's really one of my absolute favorite Google apps to use is Google Drawings. So what we're gonna do here at the beginning with Google Drawings doesn't work for the iPad yet. You know how they've got dots and slides and sheets? Yeah, I know. They don't have drawings yet. But a lot of the things that I'm going to show you that we use drawings for, you can do that in a Google Slides file. Just make it a 1-slide Google Slides file, and it does almost the exact same stuff. So anyway, with this one, I was wondering if I could get 4 volunteers that have either Chromebooks or laptops to jump in. 1, 2, thank you. 2 more. 3, 4. Okay. So if you would, if you're one of the volunteers, will you click on this hexagonal thinking practice drawing? I learned about this way of gathering ideas at the Google Teacher Academy just back in December. I thought it was kind of cool because it takes these hexagons, and if you...
We can't get... Where is it?
Oh, okay. Right there. What's that? Huh? It's on the web page.
Scroll down.
Yeah. You scroll down. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. There we go. Now. Yeah. So if you, this is the. Let me go. There's the top of the page right there. So if we scroll down past before we start, and past the presenter, and past the free stuff, and there's number 1. Sorry, I didn't. That's my fault. I didn't explain that. Okay. You guys over there in? Are we good? Yes. Okay. Very good. So. Let's switch back over here. And thank you for stopping me, by the way. Okay, so what you can do is you can take these hexagons and stick them together, and you want to put them together with, obviously, things that they sort of relate to. But they go all these different directions. And so, see this one right here, kind of the way this is organized, it kind of implies that this is in some way connected to this one, and in some way connected to this one, but is not at all connected to that one. But these 2 are connected together. And if you think of a concept and all the different parts of it in this way, it kind of opens your mind to kind of think about it in a little different way. And so what I'd like us to do is, let's just have the 4 of you pick a hexagon and just put a word in it. Let's make it a noun. We have an elephant. We have makerspace. Oh boy, we've got elephants and makerspaces we're going to bring together. We've got tennis. Hey, makerspace would have been okay. And a tiger. Okay, good. So now I want you to grab, since we've got 4 other ones, I want you to grab another one and try and start making some connections and putting them together, if you would. So, I mean, if tennis and tigers have anything to do with each other, then stick them together. And then you can add your own thoughts. So if there's anything that's similar to a makerspace and tennis, you can connect them. So again, it's just another way to do that, to think through things. So anyway, you don't have to use hexagonal thinking here, obviously. This is what's kind of great about Google Drawings, is it gives you this kind of blank, open canvas where you can make things, and then, you know how in documents everything's really linear, you write lines. This is more open. And so what I like to do is I'll create one of these graphic organizers, and then I will share it with my students. And I'll either make it so that it's anyone with the link can view but not edit, because then otherwise what's happening? They're editing your original. It's kind of like, you know, back in the old days of photocopiers, because nobody does photocopiers anymore, right? Okay, just kidding. But if you have that original and you accidentally hand it out to somebody and one of your kids writes in your original and you go, oh no! Because then you've got to remake the original, right? So you want to keep your original of your graphic organizer as view only. You want to make it so that they can't edit it. And if you're not familiar with the wonderful blue share button up here, this is where you can change that. So this one is anyone with the link can edit, because I wanted lots of people to come in and work on the same one. Now obviously you could have a group of 2 or 3 or 4 kids, or 2 or 3 or 4 staff members working all off of the same one. So you can see how they've kind of moved things around. Look at that. Games and gym are connected. Games and makerspace, yeah. Elephants. Makerspaces can be big. Elephants can be big.
Does it only work with the Chrome and doesn't work with iPad?
This will work within a web browser. Now, what I was saying earlier was if you create a slide presentation with just one slide, you can do a lot of the same stuff on a one slide presentation, because it gives you the open space and it gives you the shapes and all that same stuff. So a lot of that you can do. It's just kind of reworking a tool that wasn't meant to do it that way, but kind of hacking slides, I guess, to do that. So, okay, so if you like this idea, but you don't want to create a whole bunch of graphic organizers, guess what? I made 15 of them. Actually, there's 16 of them on this blog post right here. I sat down one day to do this blog post, and I worked for, actually I wrote it into the post, let's see, for how long it took me. There we go, it took me 90 minutes to create 15 of them. So that averages out to about 6 minutes each. Some were a little more complicated, some are a little less complicated. But basically, these are all anyone with a link can view. So you can go in and view it, and then you can make a copy into your own Google Drive. So if you like this idea, and you want a Venn diagram or a KWL or a timeline or any of this stuff, Fishbone, WordWeb, there's hexagonal thinking. Somebody actually emailed me and asked for the Frayer model, and so I made the Frayer model. So they're really pretty easy to make, and drawings is really nice for making them. So then I was also thinking, if you were an administrator, this hexagonal thinking could be really neat for brainstorming, just to kind of get things to change things up a little bit. Yes.
I'm looking up to one of your organizers.
Yes.
When I click on file, it does not have make a copy. The only thing I have is download as print settings for print. Okay. Can I get with you after the session and figure that out? Okay, great.
Okay, so questions on that. You'll see we'll come back to Google Drawings from time to time because I think it's such a powerful thing. So, okay, documents with tables of contents. So creating a table of contents in a document is actually kind of a great thing. If you have a big, long document, obviously scrolling down through it is kind of a pain. Now using Control F to find a specific word in the document can get you down there a little bit faster to where you want to go. But tables of contents really help. And so it's really easy to make a table of contents, and this isn't all just about that. I have an activity, sort of an activity that you can do with this. And so basically all that I did was I have all these different sections of this page. So imagine if this is a big long document, these could be the subtitles or the subheadings. Or if you have a whole bunch of student work, you could have each area for the student, and there's a little heading over the top of it. And if you create your heading, if you make your heading, like this word 1 here is the heading for this one. I changed it to a heading 1 over here. Everything that you turn into a heading 1, so I highlighted this one and changed it to heading 1. Highlighted this one, changed it to heading 1 all the way down. And so then, what I did was I came right over here. You see that little box around it? I went to insert table of contents. There we go. Now I have to pop my bed. I was going to make water on me.
It's great.
You see it?
At the bottom.
Yeah, there it is, and it's grayed out. I think it's because I've already got one on there and I've got it highlighted. So that's where you can insert that. And so I can see lots of different ways for this to be used. Obviously, with long documents, with lots of text, it'll be easy to just click down and go to that area if you've got a table of contents. But this one right here is set up for a group kind of like all of you. If I gave each one of you a number, 1 to 40, then you could, if I gave you number 29, you can come here and you can click on 29. Gives you a little, pops up a little link below it. Let's watch this. Takes you right down to 29. And so basically this can be a big collaborative space for an entire class, whether they're in person or not. And you say, okay, you've got number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then everybody's got a number. They all go in there, and then they've all got their space where they can type their answers or pull in pictures or whatever, so that they're not right on top of each other, but they're all working in the same space. Yes?
Could you alter that to be like an outline
An outline. I'm sure you could.
for like a unit?
Yeah. So if you had the outline, yeah. If you had the outline as the table of contents and you click on part of it and it goes down, yes, absolutely. And this table of contents did not look like this when I pulled it in. So I was able to add the little slashes next to it to break it up. So if you wanted to modify it to make it look more like an outline, you could definitely do that. So that would be great, yes.
Could you also, did it pull the numbers because you would type numbers? Like if I typed my list, my student list, would it highlight this population as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Whatever word.
Yeah, that's awesome, yeah. So this could be a student name. Yeah, and then the table of contents becomes the names, and then, yeah. And if you just make a copy of that every single time, then you don't have to redo the work. I love that, that's great.
So you had to divide each page into its own section.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, so I use these horizontal lines as little dividers. Did you guys know you can insert a horizontal line? And then all I did was I just put the number right there and then, yeah, changed it to a header. And then, so then it was all those different sections. Does that answer your question, sort of? Yeah, okay, good. All right. So that makes a really neat collaborative space for students. And then I could see, obviously on the administrative side here, a document like this can let staff share information, share notes. I mean, you can gather all of their ideas in their own different sections. You can even throw that out to parents too, and then parents would be able to pull in ideas into their sections. So that would be cool. Okay, questions about that? All right. So the next one is about crowdsourcing ideas. Are you guys familiar with the term crowdsource? Where you get everybody in a big group to do their part in search of doing something bigger. And so we're actually going to crowdsource some ideas here. And if you're watching at home, we definitely want you guys to do this too. So here's what I love to do when I get a big group of passionate educators all together, because for goodness sake, you just probably flew or drove all the way over here during your summer break to learn about how to teach better, right? So if we get these kind of people all together, then I love being able to pull from your ideas. Have you ever heard the question, who's the smartest person in the room? Who is the smartest person in the room? It's the room, right? Yeah, if you only got the sum of all the experiences and the information out of this brain right here, I'm giving you a disservice. There's all of this right here. And so here's what I want us to do. And then obviously you can use this to pull ideas in from your students or from your entire school, your entire school community. What I want you to do is click whatever device you have. This should definitely work. But on this page, I want you to click on this link that says share an innovative teaching idea on this Google form. And so if you're watching from home and you're on the Google Hangout, I want you to ditch that textbook.com/sharing, and then scroll down to that number 3, and we're going to click here to share an innovative idea. And so it pulls up this form. This may be the best part of the entire session that you get right here. Because basically, what we're going to do is every single one of you, if you would, I'm going to give you a few minutes to do this. I want you to give me an innovative teaching idea that you do yourself. So we'll put your name and what you teach, and I want you to think of something. If it can go all the way across different content areas and age levels and all that, that's ideal. The more like that, the better. But if you just can't think of anything like that, that's okay. So I want you to give it a title. It could be the content of the lesson, whatever the information is that you're teaching. If you wanted to give it like a cool, flashy slogan, if you're trying to attract people's attention, that would be fun too. And then just describe the lesson. And the part down below it is, here's what I like about it and or what the students like about it. And then at the end, I want you to tell me if you're actually on location in ISTE or if you're not at ISTE. And so if we can take a couple of minutes, think about the power of that. We've got all the people in this room, and we've got all the people at home right there. And if we can all contribute one good teaching idea, we're going to have an enormous list of stuff that you can go look through later. So if you'll take just a minute to do that, I'll give you a couple of minutes, and then we'll jump right back in.
Sometimes I wish they just fall off, but I still wake up. I still see up those, oh Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for. Oh, what do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights I don't know anymore. Feel like falling down, I'll carry you. We are young. Set the world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun.
Now, if you're done and you haven't caught on to this, the next link down on the page is the one that takes you to everybody's responses. So if you're done, you can click on that link and you can go see what everybody else has posted already and see them as they come in live. Try to wrap it up in the next few minutes. If you don't, you want to keep talking while I'm working while I'm talking. That's okay too.
Where? Let's go back to his page, his web, oh,
Answers are right there. Once you get to that answer sheet, if you want to go to File, make a copy, and copy it into your own drive, assuming that that works. That way you'll have a copy of it for later. Yes, I can fix that. I tried to set it so it would text graph last night because it didn't work, so I'll go ahead and fix that right now.
no. Maybe so, I just clicked mine.
I think that should work. So.
I
Okay.
can't seem to get the sheets out.
Okay. So we're about ready to move on, but I mean, check this out. We've already got something about student portfolios, research infographics, collaborative slideshows, which is actually something we're going to do here in a minute. Photography meets poetry, atomic theory, scientists tell their stories, expert topics for third grade, math, skills, and play, online concert, Google Talk, power of language, share your thinking, all of these ideas. And it was all just because we took, as a group, we took 3 minutes, maybe like 5 minutes. And we sat down and we gave one idea. And now we have, I don't know if we're going to be able to see the number next to it. Let's see. How far are we so far? Was that?
Wow.
56.
Yeah. Okay, so more than 50. So that's great. So, and I know some of them are not at ISTE. I know Carly's not at ISTE because she's in California. She actually just wrote me a tweet and said that she did the first part and then she had to take her daughter to preschool. So she was here for a little bit of it anyway. So anyway, so those of you that are not at ISTE, like Bethany, and who else can I give a quick shout out to? There's one. Lee, thank you for being here.
Corey,
yeah, that's right. I got a tweet from Corey a minute ago. I know Corey's there. There's Elise. So, and there's Bethany. I think I may have said Bethany already. So anyway, I'm not getting everybody. Crystal, who is a math teacher. So all of you guys, we're so glad that you are here with us. So that's just such a cool thing. So.
will that be up for a little while?
Yes, I'm not taking that file anywhere, so yeah, you should be good. Yes.
If I wanted to talk to my administrators into doing something like this at a staff meeting,
Yeah.
does everybody have to have a Gmail account for the store?
No, they don't, right. If you create a Google form like this, you put the questions up, you give them the link, and then anybody in the world can come in and put that information in.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, if you do have students do it, what's nice is that there are options where you have to be logged into a Google account to be able, and then it can actually track your Google account name, your Google ID if you want to. But if you don't want to and you just want anybody to be able to do it, you can. So, okay. Other questions?
Yeah, is it really hard to program that, or is it?
What, a Google form?
Yeah.
Not at all. Let me show you.
There's
Yes, it's really easy. In fact, I'm going to show you super fast. And by the way, if you know how to do Google Forms, I'm only going to take like 30 seconds on this, because that's all it's going to take, I promise. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you create one. This is the title up at the top, and then this is one of the questions. If you want to add a new question, you just hit Add Item, and you can choose which kind of item that you want to put in there. And what's amazing about this is the forms automatically take all of the submissions, and they put them into a spreadsheet for you, just like that. And so with this, see all like the form that I made so you can put your Google account in if you have an iPad, you know, all I did with that was I just wrote email address there, and I changed it to a text question. Now, another thing that's cool that you can do in this, that you may or may not know, is under the advanced settings, you can do data validation. So that means if you want them to put a number greater than 0, you can plug it in like that. With me on this one, I had the text that it has to contain this, or in this case, it has to be an email address, or otherwise it flags it and won't let you go on. So that all exists there. And then once you're done with that, then you can hit View Live Form and see what it looks like, or you can share the link to it with the blue button right there. So that's kind of how forms work. That answer your question? Yeah. Okay, good. All right. So that was cool. All right, so let's move on to number 4. Still moving along okay, clipping along here. This is a shared presentation, and this is a go-to activity for me that I use on a super regular basis. And so I'm going to have you guys all do this too. So if you have your iPads, and you can go to your shared with me, and you have the shared presentation, that's what we're going to be pulling up. Or you can always just click on the link right here, and that will pull you in, especially if you have a Chromebook or a laptop or something. And so basically what I do here is I make a Google presentation, Google Slides presentation, and I create a slide for everybody. I created like a whole bunch of slides in this one. I may have to make some more, I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up. And I give everybody a number. And everybody, it's easy in my class because in our seats and our desks, I've taped a little number to the back of their seats, and so that's their number the whole year. And we don't even have to mess with it. But here in just a second, I'm going to give every one of you that want to participate a number, and you're going to go to that slide. And what I want you to do is I want you to describe where your ideal vacation destination would be. So you'll go to that slide, and I want you to at very least write out in text, kind of like this, why you would go there. Extra points if you pull in a picture. Super double bonus points if you put a link. I don't know what super double bonus points really is. Sometimes you just throw that out, yes? Oh, yeah, absolutely. So if you want to pull pictures in really easily, it's under Tools, Research. I'm not sure if iPads can do this, but if you wanted to go, like mine was Spain. So if I do Spain, I can scroll down, and there's some pictures right there. Watch this.
If you click on the little G on Spain, you can sort it where it only shows pictures. Click down. There you go.
There you go. Just images. Thank you. Pretty cool, huh? So if I wanted to bring this in and drag it over like that, isn't that amazing? I'm so glad you thought to say that. Thank you. That's cool. Now I know that it does, and then look at this. Yeah, there's a link to where the original image file was, so that way you're giving credit to where you got your content, and so it does all that for you. It cites it for you. So basically, if you're here, let me give you a number, and then if you're watching on the Google Hangout, I'll get something for you in just a second. But let me give you a number. If you want to participate, if you want to try this, even if it doesn't work, raise your hand so I know that I'm going to give you a number as I come by. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, took it 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Anybody else? Did I miss anybody? Anybody change their mind, want to do it? 35. There you go. Okay, if you're at home watching on the Google Hangout,
Yes, 36.
36. There you go. If you're at home watching on the Google Hangout, find a slide bigger than 36 that doesn't have anybody in it. Any one of those, and you can go join that one.
So it doesn't work on an iPad.
It does well if you have the Slides app. You're able to do this.
Oh.
So you would open the Slides app, and then you go to Shared with Me and find the file. That would
Do you
work.
want me to replace slide 1?
Oh, that's right. Why don't you do 37? Is that okay? Okay. Yes.
Just while I'm doing it.
Yes.
I have done it with, my laptop with the class ran it, so they're all like,
Cool. Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
collaborative on projects that I have experienced actually a lot when I just
I've had a little bit it depends on what you've got in the document. I mean, sometimes I just have them do text, and text is really easy. If they're pulling a whole bunch of huge pictures into it, then the file starts to get big, it gets kind of bulky, and it's rare, at least in my situation, that I've had that happen, but I could see it definitely happening.
Yeah, I have it multiple times a day, and then
Really?
it ends up with different
Yeah, which is a little bit of extra work, but it's still, I mean, if you break it down into smaller files, that makes it a little better, right? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So while you guys are still talking about your vacations, I want to show you a couple of things. And if you're working, then that's okay. Oh, okay. So this highlights another part of this, which is that we have to learn how to work together as a group in a digital space, right? What's funny is I was over here at my computer, not even looking at the screen, and I started to hear, hey, hey, hey. I've heard that before. I knew exactly what that was. Somebody changed something to all of the slides. That's what that sounds like. And so that's a conversation that I have, and it happens every year when I do this. Somebody makes a change to all the slides, somebody gets bent out of shape, or somebody says, someone says on my slide, they moved it. I say, revision history. I can see everything that all of you changed. If you do something horrible to somebody else's slide, I'm going to know it. That's A. B, get along with each other. We got to work together. So, yes.
I've seen that on Google Sites, because I have a wiki set up on a Google site, and my kids have a problem with that because it comes up and it says blocks, or you're breaking a block, or you're breaking somebody's block if you're working on a page that, you know, part of the page that somebody else's. Is there any way around that?
I'm not totally sure on that. We can talk about that later if you want to. I don't use Sites as much as I use Weebly for creating websites and KidBlog for doing blogs. So I actually kind of get away from Google on that particular thing. But yeah, we can talk about that later. So two things I want to show you real quick. One is the images. So obviously you've got the research feature here. And that kind of works for this too. But if you click on images, I don't know if you realize this or not, but all the way over here, there's a search button that allows you to search for Creative Commons licensed images. You know, if you go out to a regular Google Images search, almost all of those images that you see are going to be copyrighted. And we technically don't have rights to use those unless we get rights from the author. But with Creative Commons, it's another way to license creative work that basically says, I'm the author, but you can use it, as long as you give me some attribution. And if you pull them in like this, like you saw earlier, there's a link provided with the picture that shows where you got the image from, and that attributes it. And so basically the long and the short of that is, if you use the search feature, you're using pictures that are legit for your students or your staff to use.
Matt, is there a way for it to give you like a list at the end of the presentation, like a bibliography?
Oh, a bibliography.
Can it be something hard enough to like?
I know at least in documents that if you pull something in from the research window, that it will give you footnotes. I'm not sure that it does that in slides, but in documents it definitely will do that. So, okay, other questions? Okay, so I mean, look at the stuff that, again, this is crowdsourcing again. Check this out. Different fonts, images, very good. All super double bonus points. Right there for Katie, good job. Right, there's Sarah, there's Beth. Nice, very good. So, the thing that amazes me about this in my class, and maybe with you in your class if you do this too, is that I can put one of these out there, give everybody a slide, everybody comes into it, in a matter of 5 minutes, we had worked together to create, if it's a 25 student class, we had worked together to create a 25 slide presentation about a given topic. And it's all done in a matter of 5 minutes. And so if I, as a Spanish teacher, I could be getting ready to do a presentation or talk about Costa Rica. I could say, okay, go out on the web, find me 3 interesting facts about Costa Rica in a picture. You got 5 minutes, go. And so they do a quick Google search, they pull in 3 facts, and they put the picture on there, and then we can look down through there. That's not to say that all the information the kids pull in will be totally accurate, which again gives you an opportunity to have that digital citizenship, digital literacy discussion of what are good sites, what aren't good sites. So just because, I think sometimes we shy away from things on the internet because we think we don't know if it's accurate, we don't know what the kids are going to see, we lose our control. But working with things online sometimes is messy, and sometimes it's inaccurate, but it's going to be that way whenever kids leave school too. And so if we can help them work through the mess, I think, while they're in class, even if it's messy for us sometimes, if we can help them work through that mess and think through that mess, they're going to be so much more prepared than if we stuck our heads in the sand and we decided, I'm not going to touch that because sometimes it's inaccurate. I don't want anything to do with Wikipedia. Because it was, I won't get to Wikipedia. I can have people throwing tomatoes at me for that one. So, okay, so that's a shared presentation. And again, for admins, I think this would be a cool place to gather teaching ideas. I think if I had an opportunity to talk about, how I'm using Google Apps in my classroom, or how I'm engaging students, being engaging in class, I think that would be a cool place. So, okay, we have about 20 minutes.
Noticed that a lot of people are commenting on other people's
Oh,
slides.
I totally forgot about that. I'm glad you mentioned it. Yeah, because you can go into other people's slides and you can use pull that up real fast. I know some of you know about this. So glad you said that. Thank you. You can go to other people's slides and you can add comments to them. So then it becomes even more collaborative. I think it would be cool if you don't do blogging, but you want your students to write and then be able to write comments on each other's things. That's kind of like blogging, kind of like social media. So give them a writing prompt or give them an activity to do. Have them put it into one of these slides, and then it becomes, again, kind of like social media, where they can have those discussions digitally right there on the screen. And all you have to do is use this black speech bubble, which is insert comment. And then you can talk about what makes you a good comment. Are you adding value? Are you asking a question that didn't get answered? Are you providing a link to some more information? Are you moving the conversation about the topic forward? And then if you're able to do that, then they can have these great conversations on here that could be very much like the conversations we have in class. So awesome, very good. Okay, some other things that I do with, this one's with Google Slides, and it's a digital storybook. So I don't know if you ever thought about using a slide presentation to make a book. And just in and of itself as a slide presentation, it doesn't make for that great of a book. But I found that if I take my presentations and I embed them on a website, like I did right there, it feels an awful lot like a digital book. And so my Spanish 1 classes, after the first semester, they know a lot about being able to talk about themselves, what they like, what they don't like, and where they go and who they are and how they describe what they look like and all of that. And so I give them an opportunity to do that as an end of semester project. And we take some time and we write books about ourselves. And then we take those books and we embed them onto our class website. And so all you have to do to embed, if you have a class website and a place where you can do HTML or embedding or something, and I don't have time to talk about that right now, but if you're interested in it, come see me afterwards and I'll show you how to do it. It's super easy. You don't have to have any coding expertise whatsoever. But basically, in Slides, you go to File, Publish to the Web, and you hit the blue Publish button. And then there's a little spot right there that says Embed. You can grab the embed code. All you have to, it's just something that you have to copy and paste into your website. And it shows up just like that, almost like magic. So if you're not sure how to embed, again, I can show you afterwards. But what was cool about this was we were able on my class website to put everybody's books on one page. And then what I did was I came up with some questions. I did one question per book. And so, I'm a Spanish teacher, so any time I can get them reading in Spanish and interacting in Spanish, that's great. So I did a question from each book. And so they had to actually go in and read each other's books to get the answers to the questions so that they could turn that assignment in later. So that got them interacting in their own stuff. And for goodness sake, if they make it instead of me making it, it's already more interesting. Am I right? Because if we make it, it's not nearly as cool. And so that can be just a sort of a visual place to put ideas, and then you can just flip through the slides like this. You can full screen it. You can download them also as a PDF or as a PowerPoint file. print off the slides. I mean, there's lots of stuff you can do once they're embedded in there. And then if you want to actually see the Google file, you click on the Google Slides button and it pulls the file up. So it actually pulls it up in slides. So that's cool. Okay, questions about that? Our pace is actually pretty good. So we got 3 left and we got 15 minutes. I think we'll be good. Okay, interactive whiteboard. Did you know that you can take a Google drawing and turn it into an interactive whiteboard that everybody that you give permission to has access to and can change? So that's what we're going to do. This might be a little bit of chaos, but it could be a lot of fun. So again, sorry, iPad people. Those little drawings for you guys. So you'll just have to watch. But click on this one right here. This is the shared Google Drawing to practice under number 6. If you're at home doing the hangout on here, we'd love to have you in here too. So come in here, but don't make any changes yet, if you would. And if you have already, I won't scold you or anything. So hopefully, yep, they're there. Now they're coming in. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line. By the way, quick tip, if you want, has anybody ever tried to draw a straight line and it's just like impossible? Shift. Watch this. I push the shift button. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. See that? And then I let go of my click. Before I let go of my shift, I have a straight line. Pretty cool. Okay. So anyway, that's that. It's a smiley face. Thank you for that. Okay. So you know what that line is? That line is the horizon line. What you're looking at here, this line with the smiley face on it, or this line and the smiley face above it, is a beautiful mountainous scene. There are mountains above the horizon line. There's the sky. There are clouds. Down below, there's grass. There's a beautiful stream or a pond. I mean, can't you see it? There might be a tent down here. You know why you can't see it? Goodbye. Because, okay, all right, put it back. There you go. Nice. Because you guys haven't drawn it yet. So let's get to work. Use the shapes, work together as a group. Let's try to not use pictures. The only reason is that pictures come in huge and they cover up the entire thing. But pictures can be fun to do too here. So if you got this open, start adding shapes and lines and even text if you want to. Be creative. There we go. We're off to the races. Let's create this beautiful mountainous scene. We want mountains up above. We want, look at this stream. There's 2 streams. That's great. One of them's feeding into the other. I love it.
It's a tributary.
It's a tribute. Geography. There we go. I love it.
I didn't do it.
There's somebody at the top of the mountain. You get the feeling that the person on the top of the mountain is going to get a smiley face here in a second. We've got 2 suns. It's got lightning. There's the tent. Somebody's getting on the tent now. That's good. A little person.
A campfire.
Yeah, a campfire. Somebody want to work on a campfire? That'd be cool. What I do with this sometimes, especially if it's a smaller group, because if we did this with an enormous group, oh my goodness, I'll start adding things to the story, and I'll say, it was a beautiful day out in the mountains of Colorado or someplace. I'll say, when all of a sudden a bear showed up. And then all I have to do is just wait for a second and guess what happens? A bear shows up, exactly. Somebody finds an image. Again, we're not doing images in this one just because it's such a great big group, but they could go find a picture of a bear and just stick it in there, right there. I say, but then the bear got scared and went away, and then lots of celebrities started showing up. And then you start getting all these little celebrity faces. Sometimes they'll draw bodies on them and everything, so. It's a buffalo. Look at that. Now that's a good idea. So I can see with small groups, I mean, think if you have 2 or 3 kids working in this space right here, working together to create, say, like a digital poster, or working together to create some sort of work of art, or pulling collaborative notes together. You could do it with an entire class. It does get to be a little bit of chaos. It gets
the Google images, the little icons, you can drag them right off and put them in.
Wow, I didn't know that. Really? So that's how we got the buffalo?
Yeah, just drag it from up there, and it'll come down.
Watch, just watch. You can take this, click and drag. This is a bat. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
It's a zoo.
It's the zoo, that's right, yes. Look at that.
Say holiday in too.
I love it. Oh, this is great. This is why I love ISTE so much. You guys are throwing in all these great ideas. We have a huge list of all these good teaching ideas because you guys all participated. You all have wonderful ideas, and that's so cool. Okay, beautiful work. I think somebody needs to take a picture of that and put it on Twitter if you haven't already. So there's one right there. All right, because I'm going to switch away from this here in a second so we can finish up. Oops. Okay, it's going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, this spatial, visual, collaborative place to gather information would be cool with the staff, I think, too. So, yeah, what's also cool with this is if you use it to make a poster, kind of like a digital poster, you can save it as a JPEG, as a picture. So you can go stick it on a class website, you can go put it into a document. So there's lots of things that you can do with that. And then B, if you use it as a digital poster and people come directly into the Google Drawings still on Google, you can make things clickable. So then all of a sudden it becomes an interactive digital poster. Where you can click through to YouTube videos that add supporting evidence. You can click through to blog posts or articles or images or whatever. And so that kind of takes the whole idea of posters. I mean, posters are something that have been around forever. It takes those posters and it puts a whole new dimension into them. So, all right, we got 2 more. All right, a screencast walking tour. So some of these are more, this one's a little more collaborative. I'm going to say that this one falls under the collaborative feature because you can have kids work in a group together to make this. Mostly this is just something really cool that I wanted to show you. Okay? So forgive me if it's not 100% collaborative, but they could definitely work on this together. Okay, Google Maps. No big deal, right? Are you familiar with, where is he? There he is. This guy? Okay, so right down here, it's this little bitty yellow guy. Looks like he's standing here like this. That is the Street View icon. This is such a cool thing. You can do this in Google Earth too, by the way. We're going to drop him right down here, downtown Philadelphia. You've seen this before? That's some of you probably have. And so now we're right downtown, looking around, look at all the traffic. Not so amazing when it's right outside next door, right? But pretty doggone amazing when you take your students to the Eiffel Tower using it. Check this out. Drag this over. Drop him right. Let's drop him right there. Oh, I think we're looking the wrong direction. All I'm doing here is just clicking and dragging. Stupid tour buses. Oh, there it is. Ta-da. We're at the Eiffel Tower. Isn't that amazing? And what I love about this isn't just a picture of the Eiffel Tower. There are all of these extra context clues and different things about the culture that are all around it. You can look and see that there are a million tour buses around the Eiffel Tower. You can look at how the people dress. You can look at what kind of cars there are. If you go a little farther away, you can see what kind of restaurants and shops there are. Yes?
I use this in the beginning of the year, and we all Google Earth. We use it with Google Earth, our kids' houses.
Their houses, yeah.
So we go to visit their house.
That's cool. Just as a kind of get-to-know-you introductory thing. Yeah. That's so cool. Yes?
I actually did this last night. I'm sitting at the holiday inn in a funny restaurant across the street. I bought mine 4 or 5 times. Couldn't remember the name of it. I found Google Earth.
Yep. Did you do it with a street level view or did yeah?
I was trying to see the awning, and I knew there was a awning, and I couldn't remember the name of it, and there it was.
That's so cool.
I couldn't see the menus.
That's practical. And a little bit scary too.
Yeah, it is.
You know? Yes.
I don't know if you've tried this, but it's sort of related to Google Treks.
Google Treks. Okay. I'm not as familiar with that. What is it?
So it's using the Google Earth
Yeah.
views,
Sure.
but they go to the most amazing places on
Okay.
Earth, and they also include the story around it.
Yeah, okay, now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Google Treks. So it's almost kind of like you have a tour guide that takes you to the place and gives you a digital walking tour
Yeah.
with information and everything. That's cool. Google Treks. Treks, I assume.
I'm at the pyramids of Giza at the moment.
Oh, cool. Pyramids of Giza. There you go. That's cool. So what I can see you doing with this was the idea that I wanted to present to you, was to have students do a screencast video. Do you guys know about Snagit? Okay, if you don't know about Snagit, there is a Chrome extension. If you were just in here like in the session before, they were just talking about Chrome extensions. There's a Chrome extension that you can get. Snagit, there's also a full-fledged software tool called Snagit that allows you to do screen capture and screencast videos. Screencast videos are where it takes video of what's going on your screen and it records with the microphone in your device. And so we could take, check this out, we can take a video of the screen. It pops up this little window over here on my other
Can this work on a desktop?
yes, it will work on it will not work on an iPad, but it will, I know, sorry, iPad people. So, okay, so now it's actually recording. And so I could be actually giving you a walking tour of France, of the Eiffel Tower, and see, look, I'm just looking down here to go down the street. So it's still recording my voice, it's hearing me. So if I'm a student and I've prepared what I want to say, I'm the tour guide. And then once I'm done with this, I could pull it out, still recording, which is fine, you know? And then we can drag the little guy from here over to this, let's see, I was going to take him over to this sports complex. Let's see what this is. And so they've got it planned out. I can talk about the architecture in France and show examples here. I could take them to different locations. I could show them the restaurants outside and how they eat al fresco, outdoors and everything. And then I hit stop on my video. And if you're using Snagit for Chrome, this is amazing. See how it says syncing? We just created a 1-minute video right there. Once it gets done syncing, brace yourselves. It saves that video automatically in your Google Drive. And so it creates a little folder called TextMeth, and it saves that video automatically in there. You don't have to save it anyplace else. You don't have to do anything else. It's just right there. And if you use Classroom, kids can attach that video right to an assignment in Classroom. It's done. Or they can share it with you, or they can give you the link to it. And so it's actually saving it to my Google Drive. Up at the top where it says name your video, I can change the name of it so I know exactly what video that was. Sometimes I mess up, and I change the name of the video to delete this. So I know to go in and get rid of it. So, I mean, there's a million things that you can do with that. And me being a foreign language teacher, my wife is a social studies teacher. So I mean, those are two huge areas. But even if you're in literature, I mean, so many stories and poems and everything are the author lived somewhere, or it's set in a certain location, and you can show them what that looks like. Science, you can go anywhere in the world and show them physical aspects of that part of the world that relate to science. So there's so much that you can do with this. So, okay, I'm going to hustle through these last ones real fast. Oh, there's only one. Photo comic strips. This one's fun, and this was not my idea. This was Mike Petty's idea, who's a Google education trainer. He did a presentation about this on the Google for Education. Their free online conference that they just did called Education on Air. They had about 100 presentations from educators, different people all over education, and they did all the presentations just like we're doing right now on video. And so all of the sessions are all available on video. So if you want to go check them out. But here's what they do. They take a Google drawing and they use if you add an image, there's another option that says webcam. And so if you have a camera in your device, you can snap a picture and stick it right on there. One of the shapes is a speech bubble. Add text to the speech bubble. See, look here. All of a sudden, your kids become the stars of a comic strip. Give them some text. Or if you want to give them ask them to do something, put it on your class website or put it in your Google Classroom or whatever, make a picture of you doing it and put the text box right next to it. Or add that if you're an administrator or anybody and you do this in email, how much cooler would it be to get an email like this than just basic text, you know? So you can get multiple ones of these drawings, save them as picture files, and then just stick them into a slide presentation. That's what they did here. Let's see if I can do this. I am almost done, by the way, and we are going to get the book away here in just a minute. So that's pretty much what they did, you know, gesturing wildly to get your point across. They even added a QR code to it. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's just another thing that I think would be super, super cool to do in class. I've done that some with kids, and they just get a huge kick out of it. So, okay. So, we're just about done. I've got about 1 minute to wrap up. I do want to tell you a couple of things real fast. With my book, there's a new Twitter book study that's starting tomorrow. All the times are wrong on that because I'm time zone illiterate. Somehow in Eastern time it's 8 p.m., but in Pacific it's 11 p.m. I got it backwards. But these are the right times if you want to join. Even if you haven't read the book, there'll still be lots of good ideas flying around. If you do Boxer, we're starting a Boxer chat about the book. One new question a day, anybody can join. And Jenny Walmsley is the one who's setting that up. So if you're on Twitter, you can reach out to her and she'll add you. She's the pro user. If you want to know more about either one of those, you can ask me. So, okay. I think that's it. So now I'm going to give the book away real quick, and then we will be done. So, let me find. There it is. Okay. We're going to be very scientific about this. You guys know about random.org? It gives you, it pulls random numbers, and it's got this fancy scientific way of doing them so that it's not predictable, yada yada. Anyway, if I need a random number, then I get it. Okay, I've got 74 people on the list, so we'll go 1 to 74, and then I'll draw, and you guys can be out of here for lunch. I need to go get lunch too. Number 67, the big winner is Jerry with the last name with the C that I can't pronounce. That's you. You got it. Yay. Exciting. So I've got other copies of the book if you're interested in getting them. They're right up here. So if you got questions, feel free to come up. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your ISTE experience.
All this stuff is still going to be on your way.
That web page isn't going anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Oh, okay. Some of that stuff is just kind of. Okay, yeah, and if you got that, once you start to learn, I mean, you can start pulling some of that stuff in, and now you can see some of it. Once you start to learn. Yeah. Here's a oh, okay. All right. Yes. Yeah. I haven't tried to ask her very much. You probably know better than I do. That would be awesome. Yeah. And there might even be a different medium to use.
They're gonna take her sandwich.
Yeah. Like Inamoto or VoiceThread.
Yeah.
Okay.
See you later.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't think of that. Yeah, so as you show it, it just plays the audio. Yeah, and I know that if you ever see a little circle with a question mark on it, you can suggest features. Those go through, I've learned those to be real life people. Honestly, there's people, they actually take those and they use those requests to make it easier. That's the best I can do for you. So. Yeah, awesome. Oh, yes, of course. Yes, absolutely.
How much do you do?
It's on Amazon, it's $24.95, but I'm selling here for 20. So if you want to get, this is the cheapest you can get this for. Yeah, I believe I didn't have you sitting out. I'm sorry. Yeah, feel free to grab and flip, and I'm not going anywhere right away, so take some time. There are some practical ideas. There's also, there's 4 sections. The first part is why we should go digital. The second part is just that mindset. It's like as the education landscape continues to change, things about and changing our classes. It's that textbook is more practical, and it's got ways to like you can use Skype to pull things in, you can use Google Apps, lots of digital tools. So, and then there's a little curriculum part. So, right, and I would love to sign. Yes, I love to do that. So, all right. Can you go by Barbara? Okay.
Great session.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'd love to. I even do that too. There you go, man. Thanks. All right, wonderful. Kelly? All right. Really? Did I get that?
Yeah.
Okay. I figured the more I can have you guys doing stuff.
Where did you say you're teaching?
I teach at Turkey Run High School. It's a little bitty one in West Central Indiana. So, but I do go out and do lots of professional development in schools and stuff too. Thank you. There you go. Yeah, wonderful. Thanks. All right. You want it? Yeah.
Are you gonna be somewhere later with this?
Yes, till about 2:30 I'll be around. Are you on Twitter?
Yes, I'm 3 hours short.
That's fine. That's fine. We can totally make that happen. When you come up, there may be a flash sale of books for 17 instead of 20.
Military discount.
Yeah. Military discount. I like it. There you go. Anchor?
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh yeah. I love people like you.
I'm glad you like that.
Yeah.
Nobody like me.
Need the chance. Did you really? Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, it's been used, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to. Oh, I do. Oh, Chris, yeah, I remember him. He was at the, yeah. Here's that one. Okay, thank you. Yes. Oh, it was on Pandora, and it was a station based off of Straight from Chase. Yeah. So my wife got me going on that. I kind of feel like I got to turn my name card in when I play that, but I don't care. It's great. Chris. Yeah. Here we are, sir. Wonderful. Thanks for coming.
I was going to ask for the military.
Yes, you got it. Really? Oh, that's cool. All right. Very good. I was going to give you the military discount too, by the way. So, to Amy?
Yes.
To you. Okay. Very good. Me too.
High school.
How, do you guys have one-to-one or?
BYOD.
Oh, awesome. How's that on?
Well, we're just we've been practicing.
Uh-huh.
This is the first year of full education. And it's a project still in full work.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
We're lucky that everyone.
Yes. Yeah, that helps. So.
Thank
All right.
you.
Great, thanks. Yes, of course. Seen enough, ain't that enough? Oh, yeah. Oh, I love to do that, yeah. I mean, even before Dave and I started talking about me writing this book, I asked for Teach Like a Pirate for my birthday last year. Before I even had met I love it. Yes, yes, my pleasure. Let's, I usually do. I'll find you something. Oh, yeah, yeah. You said you would have presentations. Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, let me find a, I'm kind of flustered while I'm here because I usually have cards and stickers, but I'll just do this. It got wet somehow. I'm not sure why, but really, okay. Textbook. Yes, slash sharing. That's it. So. Yes, the link. Okay. Oh, cool. Okay. 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 Yeah, that's great. Do you do like do you reimburse like spotlight speakers or anything, or is it just all?
Spotlight speakers do different things. So, yeah, if you're interested in doing that, you can't wait to sort of do something that's highlight you with that tomorrow.
Really? Okay. I will. Should I email you to get more information, or to communicate about it?
Yes. But you can use the program site, and I do also
Oh, great. Okay. All right, great. Well, hey, I appreciate that. That's awesome. So, and there's my information. So, thank you so much for coming. That's great.
So, here does it give you, like, different ways to do stuff?
This is, let's see, there's, I heard my voice echoing. I was trying to sell the microphone on. There's 4 parts. There's why we should go digital. There's just that mindset. It's kind of like as the technology horizon is changing in education, we got probably just that textbook, which is more practical things for the classroom, and then just that curriculum, which is just some ideas for how you can rework your curriculum to really. So that's the whole sum of the book. So. All right. Yeah, thanks. Absolutely.
Is it when your school is all this stuff?
Yeah. It was great. Hey, look, you got this little HDMI thing.
Like I bring mine up.
Yeah, me too. I just got this thing. I expected it to have a VGA, so I had to go blow a bunch of money on an adapter. So.
Well, Chromebooks never have anything, so you always have that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, I never done the online version. I just got it on my Chromebook.
Okay.
You saved it. How do you go back to it?
Let's see. That's a good. And you're on a Chromebook, you said? What you could do is you could here. I'll kind of walk you
I'm
through.
so afraid to exit it out.